This is my new wingman map, the 𝑨𝒆�𝒕𝒊𝒄. I have been working hard on its gameplay over the last month, but didn't pay too much attention to its looks so far. That changed with the recent update, where it went from this to this. In today's video I'll give you a small tour around it and will share some hopefully interesting tidbits of my detailing process as well as its workshop release. Sounds good? Alright. I think a nice place to start will be T-spawn, since it's the one area that changed the most from the previous version. It used to be quite an unremarkable place, but now it's probably one of my favorites in the entire map. I think a big part of its appeal is the lighting. How the warm orange sodium vapor lamps, together with the golden apartment windows we can see outside, contrast very well with the intense darkness surrounding them. Yeah, this darkness is probably quite unrealistic. Even on the cloudiest night, I don't think Berlin's light pollution lets anywhere get this gloomy, but it serves an important purpose. It lets me be lazy. You see, daylight maps need to put an unreasonable amount of effort into making the areas outside of the map look detailed and nice, to really make the player feel like they're in an actual place and not just a level floating in space. But since my map is a nightclub map, it only makes sense for it to be at night, and I use this to my advantage to utilize the darkness to cover up the lack of detail. If I turn on full bright, you will see that the outside area is actually super minimalistic. But yeah, the darkness fools our brain into thinking that there's more behind it. The bright apartment windows especially I think add a lot, and we can actually see them from all sorts of angles all around the map, which is very cool. Now, let's go down here to this main T lobby area. Here I want to bring up the style I'm going for with my detailing, since as you might have noticed, nothing here or anywhere else on the map in fact has any textures. Basically, since I'm not that good at detailing and definitely wouldn't be able to bring this map's art to an in-game standard of quality, I instead stick to mostly simple, clean shapes and surfaces, which are made aesthetically pleasing by using nice lighting and shadows, with just a few props and details thrown in for added effect. This way I'm able to both communicate the main idea and vibe of each area of the map, while still saving a lot of time and keeping it simple enough to work with in case an outside artist would later like to come along and properly remake it. Early versions of maps from mappers like 𝒆𝒔𝒕𝒊𝒄 are a great example of how effective this workflow can be, and very great inspiration for how I detailed 𝑣𝒆𝒔𝒕𝒊𝒄. Let's keep moving. Here's the bomb site. Once again, simple shapes and unique lighting do the trick here. I especially love how the neon under the bar tables turned out, and in general how cozy this area feels. There's even a smoke vent here, which I think long-time viewers of my channel will appreciate. Now, one thing that I'm not 100% about is the cover in the backside here. I think everywhere else I did a good job of transforming ambiguous crates and blocks into subwoofers, sofas, and construction junk. But here I couldn't really come up with anything that could be of this shape and size and still make sense in a nightclub. So I just kinda stacked a lot of mattresses on top of each other and called it a day, but tell me if you can come up with anything better, I'd love to replace this. Nonetheless, moving up the stairs, they're mostly the same as they used to be, though I added a bit of environmental storytelling for why this part lacks railings, and also made this metal arch thingamajig up here to better show players that I clipped the railings and you can't stand on them. By the way, on the topic of clipping, as you know, it's basically these invisible walls that mappers add to make movement on the map feel smoother. Some mappers, like 𝒁𝒐𝒊𝒄 and 𝒁𝒐𝒊𝒄, go really crazy, smoothing out every single part of the map to the point that running around it feels like sliding in butter. I'm personally, of course, not there yet, but 𝒁𝒐𝒊𝒄 said,
well, this is definitely good enough.
So I'll take it. And on the second floor, it's the same story once again. More or less similar to how it was in the previous versions, just with more added detail. Something worth noting as well is that I tried to put all of the props either below or above the player's height, keeping the main playable sightlines as clean as possible. And yeah, there's an entire truck suspended on the club's ceiling. It actually is inspired from a real reference image I got of Kubus Hall in Berlin, just instead of a bus on a stage, it's a truck on a ceiling. In my opinion, it really ties the room together. I hope people wouldn't find it to be too ridiculous. Lastly, let's go down the rafters. They're pretty much the same as before, just got some glass and railings. And this sideline here is also quite similar. I just replaced the walls with curtains, added windows, and made the lighting pink, which gives it quite a dainty feel, if I do say so myself. And this is pretty much it. As a final touch, I added bot support since Whitesnake Gaming asked for it. I also made a really cool double layer radar, because of course, and also added music that plays at the start of the round. Very atmospheric. With just a couple of days left before the contest deadline, the only thing left was to upload it to the workshop with some nice screenshot and a very thought-provoking description. Let's hope at least a few people will see it before it gets buried below all of this AI slop. Overall, I'm really happy with how this project turned out. I have tons of fun playing on it and it looks pretty sweet. Let's see how it will do in the contest. I'll probably even make a video about the results once they're out, so make sure you subscribe to the channel to not miss it. Huge thanks to everyone who helped me with making this map, as well as people who playtested and everyone who left comments or even just watched the videos. I really appreciate all of you. And to celebrate the map's release, I'm doing two things. First of all, everyone who leaves a comment under this video, I'll write their username in a guest list I'll stick outside of T-Spawn. It can be any comment about anything really, as long as it's not offensive, so yeah, write comments, I'll add the names in the next update. And secondly, I'm hosting the map on my server for the next 2 hours after this video comes out. Last time we did it with Battle Royale, and it was super fun, so yeah, come say hi, try the map out, all that stuff. Server IP will be in the pinned comment. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. As usual, I'll see you next week, but for now, bye bye.
Oh, no way! No way, though.
Hell yeah.